20 minutes later, we got it working.
We finally got it working.
Well, you know,
yeah.
it's just craziness with, you know, because we haven't done this in a month. Work and travel and stuff.
Sickness.
Who was sick? Oh yeah, you did. You
Kidney
were sick.
stone, remember?
Yeah, you were sick that one Friday. That's right. Yep. But I'm glad to see you dancing, buddy. I've missed hanging out with you. So. And as usual, it's just me and you.
That's okay. We only need us. You only really need me. Because
okay.
I bring everything here. I bring the creativity. I bring the funny. You just
Hey everybody, welcome to the Gene Pool Variety Hour. Welcome to episode 60 of the Gene Pool Variety Hour. My name is Sean. I'm the old dad. I'm the father. I am your father. I'm the old guy. I'm the old dad. And that guy on the other screen is...
And I am Connor, a.k.a. QuillMiester, a.k.a. the real funny guy here. He just makes me look pretty here.
Yes, I make you look pretty. I'm the old guy, and I make you look pretty. That's a fact. Absolutely. Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, there's not...
I bring the funny. I bring the comedy.
There are not too many opportunities where I get to say, I'm the eye candy of the group. Okay? That doesn't happen often. So that's another reason why I like doing this on Friday nights, because I get to be the eye candy.
Why are you the eye candy?
I'm
the sexy one here.
Well, you said I'm the one that made things look good.
I said you made me look good. You know, you made me look good.
Well, of course
you made me look pretty because that.
Because I'm pretty.
They don't come for you. They come
because
for me.
I'm pretty.
They come for me.
I make you look pretty because I'm pretty. It's like when you go to the bar and you're like the hot girl and you take your friend who's not quite as hot as you, but you want to be the girl that's not quite as hot because then
I'm the duff.
Hanging out.
Are you calling me the duff?
I'm calling you whatever you want to be called, man.
You're calling me you're calling me the dumb, ugly, fat friend, the duff.
Anyway, well, I've got to remind myself what we do.
You're Hillary Duff.
People that listen to us who maybe listen to us for the first time, coming back or for the first time.
It's been a while, and but to quote LL Cool J, don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, there you go. So we're just
That's a good song.
Father and son, full of ADHD. That's why we have a chicken for a mascot, and
it's kind of based on a family saying, "Chasing chickens."
Chasing chickens, and so we're the nerds of the family. My son moved to Ohio a year ago, and so now we now we do our podcast via Twitch stream, and we hang out. He always comes up with a geek question of the week that we chat about for a while. And then the episode prior, we rolled dragon dice and pick a movie at random off of one of the streaming services. And
I get to use my new dice that Nikki got me.
Watch a random movie and review it. And so, as you can see from the screen, the movie that we're going to talk about this week is the 2017
The Osiris
movie,
Child.
The Osiris Child, which was a movie. So, and we'll talk about it later. But we always kind of...
It was in fact a movie. It had a director. It had actors. It had CGI effects. It ran for longer than an hour and a half. It is a movie by all definitions.
We'll get to it later. So
we'll get to it.
We always start with kind of catching up and just kind of talking about nerdy stuff that's going on with us these days.
Oh my God, so much to catch up about because it's been like 3 or 4 weeks.
I know. So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I want to start mainly because, okay, so Dad, in the past, I've always been lucky when it comes to loot in video games, right? Perfect. Send me one right now. Put one in the mail right now and send it to me, please.
This was a Christmas gift for your mom, and then we used her vinyl cutter and did the stickers. So
then make me one for Christmas. Anyway,
maybe. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so Dad, you know how I've always been super lucky when it comes to finding loot in video games.
Oh, sure.
Perfect example when I found Galahorn, and not even max level little guardian with a purple engram.
Yeah. Speaking of Destiny 1, I've always been speaking of Destiny 1, that wizard came from the moon.
That wizard came from the moon. Just freaking
you gotta act like you're sitting at a card table with a single bulb hanging over you. You know, Peter Dinklage with a cigarette and a cup of coffee, going, "That wizard came from the moon."
Exactly. Anyway. So I've been playing Monster Hunter. So I've been playing Monster Hunter Stories 2, as you know, I've talked about it a couple times.
Yeah.
And part of the game is going to these things called dens and finding eggs to hatch into your companions, your monsties.
Right.
There's a den in this game called, and this is a mouthful, the Super Rare High Rank Monster Den. It spawns randomly in the wild, and you literally have a 1.2 chance of finding it. And I found 3 in a row in the same place.
Okay, cool.
To put this in perspective, that's like farming Doc Mercy 20 times and getting 20 Infinity Pistols in a row.
I would just quit playing video games at that point if that ever happened. Because there would be nothing else to do.
I've always been super lucky when it comes to these things. I mean, even in Pokemon, I just hatched Pokemon just to fill up these cool teams I'm making, and boom, first try, get a shiny. It's like I don't make this stuff up. It actually happens. Nikki can attest to one of the shinies. She saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I've always been lucky when it comes to video games. Loot-based video games. I don't know why. I just always have been.
That's true. I mean, you have, and it makes the rest of us jealous, but it just is what it is, you know.
Suffer to my luck.
Any other cool nerd stuff?
Let's see. Nikki recently got back from Otakon,
right, which is in DC,
over
right?
in Washington, DC. Yep, in DC. Yeah, visiting with her friend Kat, her longtime friend Kat.
Right.
They cosplayed as Sora and Riku from Kingdom Hearts, and they had a blast doing it.
Okay.
You have no idea what Kingdom Hearts is, do you?
I know what Kingdom Hearts is, but I have no idea who those people are because I don't play Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Sora is the blonde character.
Okay. That really helps because I don't know any characters. It's okay.
You've seen clip art of if you've heard the games, you've seen some kind of clip art, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Sora is the guy with Donald and Goofy.
I'm also the old guy with a bad memory, so even if I did see it, I wouldn't remember it. So
anyway, she had an awesome time.
You know what I didn't do?
What?
I didn't reset our timer. Even though
Who cares?
Well, I want to reset it anyway.
Who cares? Let's just forego the timer this week because we need to catch up on a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, but we have been catching up. Now we got an hour to finish up. Go.
Okay. All right. So Nikki just Nikki said as soon as she got back, she already misses Kat again, even though they talk every day online.
Right.
I mean, she said it was just so nice to just go out and feel like a kid again, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's that's honestly one of the things I miss about Dragon Con. Just going there and being in my element for a
Speaking of Dragon Con, I'll get to that with my point.
I know you're part of panels this year, and I can't come.
Next year. Plan for next year's. Look, budget a little bit of money every month out of your check and put it aside in a separate account to save up.
I know. I already do that.
Okay. So
anyway, let's see. Oh, me and Nikki have been going on a book binge lately.
Oh yeah.
She still had some leftover con money that she had saved just for herself.
Wait. That concept that you just mentioned, I have no concept of what that is. Leftover money after a con? What?
I said the same thing.
What?
You shouldn't come back with any money from a con.
You should come back with
need
dust
to
bunnies.
always spend every cent of it so you get as much swag as possible.
You should come back with dust bunnies in your pocket. That's about it.
Exactly. I said the same thing.
Okay. She clearly is not a con veteran here, okay? I mean, come on.
Yeah, clearly. we know what it's like.
Oh,
we know.
No, what I know is spend all my con money and then spend money that's not for the con to pay for your con stuff because Dad, I ran out of money. Can I get this? Dad, I ran out of money. Can I get this?
That happened one time. I blew on one whistle and absentmindedly. That happened one time.
God, that's so funny. Anyway. Yeah, so that's one of your ADHD moments.
Just close the door.
Just grab a whistle that's at a table at a vendor at Dragon Con and just decide to blow on it. And the guy goes, I guess you bought that. And I had to go.
At least it was only $5.
Yeah, no, it wasn't much. But anyway, so
yeah, it was only it was $5.
So she went to Otakon. You said, is that what it's called?
It's Otakon because it's basically all anime stuff. Otaku Con, Oda Con.
Yeah. Kind of, it's probably a lot like MomoCon here in Atlanta. Very anime-ish and stuff. But yeah. Okay, I got you.
Let's see. Nikki did get me a couple souvenirs though.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the best thing though are these. A set of dice carved out of opal.
Nice. Well, I bet you that cost a pretty penny, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and they look absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to use them tomorrow during my campaign.
I saw some. I see because Facebook follows Facebook has an implant in your brain, and whatever you think, you get ads for it on Facebook, right? I mean, it's just there. Yes. So I've been seeing some advertisements for some dragon dice that have a dragon eye inside each die, which is really cool looking. It's a clear die with a dragon eye inside each die, which is really cool looking.
I want those. I want those.
And then I've seen another one where the dice, I think the dice are just black, but there's a multicolored LED light inside the dice, and when you roll it, it lights up, and if you roll a natural 20, all the lights flash together,
Okay, but wait, how would a light work inside there? Is there a battery? Is there a battery compartment?
I'm sure it's batteries. Yeah.
Is there a charging case?
Yeah, I haven't.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool if they came inside a case that plugs in and charges. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. So anyway, so you got your opal dice.
And Nikki also got me a big shirt that's got a Cerberus on the front, and it says roll for cuddles. And he's playing with the big stuffed D20. It's really cute.
Yeah, I still like my Jesus D&D shirt.
I know you do. Oh man, let's see what else has been going on. Let's see.
Jesus saves. Everybody else roll for damage. Love that shirt. Yeah. Anyway,
me and Nikki, went at one of the bookstores. Of course, we saw they were selling this map of paranormal locations in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
And and me and her both love the paranormal, and we just looked at each other and just no words exchanged. Just looked at each other, nodded, and then I grabbed it.
Okay.
There's this cemetery in Akron, Ohio, that has its tombstones laid out in a pentacle.
Okay, well,
it's like, why?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Exactly, it's weird stuff in Ohio. I took you
to the cemetery here in the valley that has the dollhouse over a grave, right?
No.
Yeah, a long time ago, back in the 60s, a guy, his daughter died, and she was, I think, 4 or something, and she loved dolls. Mm-hmm. So over her grave, he built a dollhouse. I mean, like brick, not just like some cheap. He built a permanent structure brick dollhouse over her grave, and you can look inside the dollhouse, and there's cribs and chairs and a fake fireplace and dolls everywhere. And they used to change the dolls out every year. And so there's the grave is right there in the dollhouse. It's kind of freaky looking. Yeah.
So I'm not going to go near it. You can go near it all you want to.
Okay. So
I like dealing with cryptids, Bigfoot, the chupacabra, Loch Ness monster, creatures, not spirits and demons and stuff like that. I don't roll that way. I don't roll that way.
Yeah. You know what they say about Sasquatch, right?
What?
Social distance champion of 2020.
Speaking of Sasquatch, I recently got this new soap called Dr. Squatch All Natural Soap.
Yeah, Luke's gotten some.
And oh my gosh, it smells incredible. I got
he really
pine tar, golden moss, and cedar citrus.
Yeah, he's got the tar one. Yeah, the pine tar or whatever it's called.
The pine tar, it reminds me of Georgia. I love the way it smells.
That's cool.
But sadly, Nikki hates the smell of pine.
Well, she's gonna have a hard time when she comes to visit family down here. That's for sure.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Oh man, I can't wait for this Christmas. I want it to happen so bad, but we still have to wait for October to get Nikki's freaking confirmed schedule for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Okay. Yeah. So since we talked last, or since our last stream, which was literally July 20-something, 26th, 27th, something like that.
It's been close to a month.
Yeah. I've got new glasses.
Nice. They look good.
And
they look good, honey. Oh my gosh, they are so yo.
Thank you. So, and what else? I've been traveling. I had to be in Savannah all of last week.
Oh my.
And so Mom came down Friday and stayed the weekend. We stayed the weekend in Savannah. Had a nice little vacation, me and her.
That was nice.
Did
you go to the Chromatic Dragon?
I think it's closed. We drove by and I didn't see it. It looked like it was closed. I know. So we were staying in an Airbnb right across from Forsyth Park, which is the nice big park in Savannah that has the big fountain. And I reserved a custom picnic for your mom and I in Forsyth Park. So we walked across the park, and there was this huge, beautiful layout picnic for me and Mom, just for me and Mom.
Okay, that's awesome.
And of course, your mom and how much she loves picnics, so that was quite the big deal for her. I scored husband points. It was great.
Scored big husband points for that one.
Husband points. And so you were sick that one Friday, and then I've been traveling and missed some Fridays, and that's why we only had this. We've only got one show in the month of August because next Friday I'm flying to Seattle for work.
Oh my gosh!
And then the next Friday I'll be at Dragon Con. So we're only getting
We can stream from Dragon Con, can't we?
I don't think so. Because I want to have all the internet to set it all up. And I want to have all the equipment.
You want to have it at like that Airbnb we were staying at?
We're not staying at an Airbnb.
I thought that was the plan.
That fell through.
Sorry, Dad.
Oh, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why in a minute. So then we got Dragon Con, which I'm going to talk about more in a minute, and then I've got more travel in September. So we'll get one episode in September, maybe two. Now, the cool thing is that come September, whichever episode we're able to do in September, we're going to have a guest. We're planning to have a guest. Dennis, the world's most okayest DM from Botched, is going to be a guest night.
Dennis from Botched?
Yeah, he's going to be a guest on the podcast for us.
Where's my helm? Where's my helm?
Well, put it on then, not now.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so that's kind of cool. So that's kind of stuff's been going on. But Dragon Con. So Dragon Con's next a week from this coming Friday. So it's a couple weeks away. I'll be going up Thursday because things are starting on Thursday now. So I'm going to go up for the Dragon Con digital media kickoff thing. I'm on 2 panels this year. I get to be on 2 panels this year. So one on Friday, one on Sunday. Stop with the sad lips. And And the Dragon Con app has been updated, and it's got all the stuff in there. I'm not listed because the only people in the app that are listed as guests at the panels are people that applied and got approved to be attending professionals. And I'm not an attending professional. I didn't send in an application for that because you see what we do here. Would you call what we do professional? You
know what you're doing.
So next year, Chase just fell. Next year I will, so that I'll actually be in the app. That'd be kind of cool. So that's the plan. But I get to be on 2 panels during Dragon Con. Oh my gosh, Chase keeps falling.
He's drunk.
Yeah, well, got
his beak a little too wet.
So, the Dragon Con's had to do some major changes this year. I mean, we went completely virtual last year because of COVID, and this year it's live. But then the Delta variant kicked in gear, and wanted to kind of throw a wrench in everything. So Dragon Con's made some changes, which I think are good changes, and I'm cool with all of them. One is they're doing no single day sales. So no Saturday, an extra 20,000 people show up for one day kind of thing, right? So you're not gonna have. They don't have single day sales, and they limited the number of ticket sales that they were doing this year. So it's gonna be a smaller con. And as Delta continued to gear itself up, they added the requirement. Of course, everybody's got a mask. If you're inside, you got to have a mask on. I'm cool with that. I just ordered me a new one that looks like it's going to be much more comfortable to wear all day. And you have to have proof of your 2 vaccination shots or a negative COVID test within 72 hours of the con. You have to have that on you to get in, along with your badge, to prove that everybody's either vaccinated or doesn't have COVID, to try to minimize any problems.
That makes sense.
Some people have kind of had problems with that and kind of complain, and I'm like, I got no problems with it. If I got to show you my card or I got to go get a test, which I don't have to because I'm vaccinated, if I got to do that and wear a mask so that I can hang out with my nerdy friends for a weekend, that's a small price to pay. Because the Dragon Con goes virtual last year. I mean, it was cool, but it just wasn't the con, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm more than happy to jump through those hoops and do those things. I have no problems with that.
I wish I could.
So you might want to consider the whole vaccination, negative COVID test type stuff if this stuff is still going on next year.
I know.
Yeah. So and so what happened, because we were going to do an Airbnb. I was going to do an Airbnb with Steven and Travis, right? But all this stuff started kicking in. Delta started kicking back up, and everything started getting worse again. And Steven's got his little boy Sam, and Sam's young, so he can't get vaccinated yet. And so Steven's like, I can't in good conscience go to the con, even if I'm vaccinated, which he is, and take the chance of contracting it or bringing it home to my son who can't be vaccinated. So he decided to back out. And once he backed out, Travis and I were both like, well, we can't afford that Airbnb, just the 2 of us. And Travis lives all the way up in Michigan. So he's like, I can't really afford to come all the way down from Michigan for the con and have to pay my full accommodations by myself. So he ended up backing out. So when all that happened, I went, hey, Paige, need to crash at your place again. Cool. Okay. So it's back to crashing at your aunt's place, my sister's place.
Yeah. So my sister, I'm like, I don't have a sister.
No. My sister,
unless you and Mom had some kind of.
Now, it's gonna be a weird con in that, it's gonna be smaller, but there's not gonna be near the celebrities that there usually is.
Yeah. They usually have a whole lot.
A huge contingent of the Battlestar Galactica cast is going to be there. Pretty much most of the main characters, main actors and actresses, except for Katie Sackhoff, who played Starbuck. She's not going to be there because I think currently she's in Vancouver, Canada, filming a movie. So she obviously can't just kind of fly down from Vancouver to Atlanta for a weekend and fly back. So she's not going to be there. Everybody else is going to be just about everybody else is going to be there. I wish Chief Terrell was going to be there. He's my favorite character, and he's not going to be there. Supposedly they're doing but there's not a lot of other people there, names that I recognize, especially of shows or things that I recognize. William Shatner's going to be there, but he's there almost every year. I mean, he's like a staple. He likes coming to DragonCon. And there's a lot of authors and just a lot of other people, but I haven't seen the huge list of celebrities. Now, supposedly, there was a huge update on the app last night, and I haven't checked it, so maybe there's more that's been added. I don't know. But, I'd kind of, in the last year or two, as we've gotten into the podcast stuff, I've kind of been going to fewer and fewer celebrity things and been more just kind of hanging out in specific panels and meeting new people and making friends. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what's been going on with me. I am so excited to go to DragonCon, even though I was really looking forward to it when Steven and Travis were going to be there. But so that put a damper on it because they're not going to be there. But some of my other friends are going to be there. Kelly is going to be there, and her husband. Some of the other folks from the Discord are going to be there. And so it's going to be cool. And I'm looking forward to it. I might do some live updates, some live stream, Twitch streams from my phone from the con, just for the heck of it. I might even try to do a live stream via Twitch from my phone on Friday night during our normal podcast time, just for the heck of it. We'll see.
Nice.
So anyway, we're going to do all that. So that's all I got. That's kind of all that's been going on with me.
Yeah, and that's kind of all that's been going on with me.
All right, so let's do our geek question.
Let's get into our geek question.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want them answered immediately.
I knew you were going to do that. I've given up.
Because I have to do it now.
I've given up
a compulsion.
Okay, so what's our geek question?
All right. If you could become the personal assistant to either Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne, who would you pick and why?
Go.
All right.
You always go first.
If I'm being honest, I want to be Tony Stark's personal assistant because one, we know who he is. We know he's Iron Man. So his stuff for his personal assistant is going to be a little out there, so it's always going to be an experience, in the first Iron Man movie, with when Pepper was still his personal assistant, he basically asked her to help to perform heart surgery and pull a magnet out of his chest.
Right.
Never a dull day with Tony Stark. And every word out of his mouth is pure gold. Every word out of his mouth is pure gold. Comedic gold, genius gold. I feel like it would be a very unique experience that nobody else could even compare to. Being a personal assistant to a superhero, millionaire, playboy, a philanthropist, all at the same time. It's like,
well, Bruce Wayne's all of those too,
but he's way too serious for me. He is way too serious. He doesn't have a funny bone in his body. He's like 99.99999% serious doom and gloom, and that 0.0000001% is just those little quips he gets when he arrests his charges, his thing would be just all business, send this email,
right,
grab my lunch, check on this letter. It would be all business.
Clean up on aisle 7.
That's basically.
Oh, come on! You didn't laugh at that? Come on, that's straight from The Office.
Clean up on aisle 7.
That's threat level midnight. Come on, man.
First off, it's clean up on aisle 5.
Whatever.
See, you messed it up. That's why I didn't recognize it.
Oh, please. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, an example of what Tony Stark would ask you to do is would be like hey Connor, hold this light up. Hold this light up. I need to try and shoot my photon laser through it. Just right. He would ask you to do random things, and you just say them so nonchalantly. Like he's asking for a coffee.
Right.
It would just be such a unique experience, and I want to experience that. It doesn't even have to be Tony Stark. If I could be personal assistant to Robert Downey Jr., I'd be happy.
Okay, so if I was going to answer the question, my answer would be exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same, but yeah. I mean, I have no interest in being Alfred. I have no interest in being, Bruce Wayne's personal assistant. Because Batman is too serious. He's too depressing for me. I mean, and Tony Stark's name might as well be Tony Snark because he's so snarky, and that's more my style. And so I would have more fun being Tony's assistant, just being around the circus, of his life, right? And how often did you get to see Alfred using or playing with any of Bruce's toys, Batman's toys? He freaking gave Pepper a suit, and she was flying around beating people up. Come on, if I'm Tony's, if I'm Tony's personal assistant, I'm going to get to play with all these cool toys that he throws away. Right? So
you'd have to get through Happy first.
Well, Happy wasn't around much the last couple of shows. I mean, he was like a peripheral character. He was too busy He was too busy directing the movie. So,
he was too busy checking for badges.
Right. So that's who I would do Tony Stark as well because of the atmosphere more fits my personality. And I'd have more likelihood of getting to play with some of those cool toys. To
be fair, I feel like if you were personal assistant to Bruce Wayne, you would get actual job experience. You could transfer to another job and possibly advance in position at his company. With Tony Stark, you would basically just have a bunch of useless knowledge of what to do, how to do it, and not be able to transfer it to another position.
Okay, so both positions would be paid well, right? Because they're rich.
Yeah.
One, what you would be working with a very dour kind of sourpuss kind of guy that will give you skills to work up in his company. Or in the other one, you get paid well to kind of goof off and hang out with a cool dude and play with his cool toys. I'm going with that one. I could care less about learning new job skills. I'm just going to make sure that he continues.
I'm the same way, but there are some people who like a more serious job atmosphere.
I want the cool toys and the money and the fun life. How often did Alfred travel the world with Bruce? Pepper was in Italy and Europe and all over the place with him. So anyway, all right.
To be fair, at that point, Pepper had become the CEO.
Yes, I know.
And Tony was basically just the face of the company.
Right. So to extend the question a little bit because we're kind of done already, right? To extend the question, if you could be the personal assistant for any superhero, who would you be a personal assistant for any superhero?
Any superhero. Star-Lord. Peter Quill.
Why Star-Lord?
Okay. Well, one, automatically you'd be part of the Guardians of the Galaxy and have some sort of tech gadget or ability to make you part of the crew. You would. Mantis can't do anything, and she's part of the crew.
Yeah.
And Peter Quill is just, he's like Tony, but more obvious about it,
Yeah.
Tony is more kind of nonchalant, emotionless kind of snark, but Peter Quill, he's like joking and toying kind of snark, you know, getting in your face about it and actually making jokes about it. Trying to choose the galaxy's fate with a dance contest.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I mean, and think about it. If you're personal assistant to Peter Quill, you get to hang out with Gamora, with Drax, with Rocket, with Groot. I want to learn Groot and speak in Groot with Groot about philosophy and find out what goes on in his head.
We can already speak Groot.
But
I am Groot.
Not as well as Thor and Rocket.
I am Groot.
Thor can actually understand him and actually
I am
speak.
Groot. See?
I am Groot.
That's all you need.
I am Groot.
Okay.
I'm Groot. Groot.
So
I am Groot.
I'm sitting here trying to think about who. I'm really struggling because and you know this about me. Whenever I'm forced to think about something, my mind goes blank. Right?
Yeah.
And when I'm forced, okay,
you brought this one on
I
yourself.
did, because it just popped in my head. It's like when your mom and I were dating in college, and we'd be out at dinner, and we'd be sitting there, and I'm kind of an introvert, so I'm not talking much, and she said, well, talk to me. And I might have a bunch of things in my head, but the second she puts the demand, talk to me, my mind just kind of goes, gone, nothing, it's empty, I'm in my nothing box, I got nothing. So I'm kind of there. The only thing that I can think of right now, the first thing that popped in my head is, I probably would want to be Ant-Man's personal assistant. Just
okay.
Wait. Just so I can hang out with Lewis. For
Luis.
No other reason but to hang out with Luis. For no other reason than just to hang out with Luis. Yeah, it's in jail, dog. That's the only reason why I want to be his personal assistant, so I can hang out with Luis.
Luis has been the best addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe side character list. He's been the best addition.
Did you know? And it's such bad quality on YouTube because I think they only showed this at Comic-Con, and somebody just recorded it with their phone and put it up on YouTube. So you can't see it, you can't really hear it well.
What is it?
They got Luis to do a summary of the whole Marvel in-game, the whole storyline in Luis style, and had up on the big screen at Comic-Con. So it's like 10 minutes long, and he does the whole
the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think he does it all leading up to Endgame. I think he does it all the way up. It's like 10 minutes long. I don't know why Marvel won't put that up on is like a short
Disney
feature
Plus.
on Disney Plus, or somebody doesn't put up a good copy of that. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah.
Speaking of Disney Plus, have you been watching What If?
No, I have not.
Dude, you need to watch it.
I'll get around to it. I just haven't gotten up. Dude, I've been traveling busy lately. I haven't had time to.
But still, it's Chadwick Boseman's last thing.
Okay, that's fine. I get that. That's fine. I get that. But I've got other things that are pressing because Dragon Con's coming up. I do want to go to one of the Battlestar Galactica panels. I did this summer buy the entire Battlestar Galactica series on Blu-ray box set.
Wait.
So I'm trying to
It's on Hulu. It's on Amazon. Why'd you buy it?
No, it's not anymore. No. It used to be. Then it went off. So I bought it on Blu-ray, so I got to watch anytime I want to because it goes on and off the streaming services sometimes. So I'm frantically trying to get through all 4 seasons before the con. And I got 2 weeks, and I'm almost done with season 3, and then I got season 4 to get through. So that's been my priority. I've been watching that whenever I can. And dude, I know that it's probably not your thing, that sci-fi is not as much of your thing as it is for me. But there's so much more to that show, Battlestar Galactica, and I'd forgot. I mean, I knew it was, but it's been so many years since I've watched the whole series like this. There's so much more deep storylines to that show that are above and beyond anything sci-fi. It is so well written. You should give it a shot sometime. You know, it's not just it's a sci-fi show because that's where it's set. But a lot of the storylines are just so deep and philosophical and political and social and, some things that we're going through in our culture today. They had episodes about this very same kind of stuff then. It's just really cool. So very well done.
I can get that.
So anyway,
speaking of shows, speaking of in-depth shows, me and Nikki have kind of gotten sucked in into this new Disney show called Owl House. And
haven't heard of it.
It's a cartoon, and it's essentially about this human girl who is my kind of weird, book reading, anime loving, figurine playing with, heavy internal world kind of stuff,
Yeah.
She's that kind of weird, and her mom and school kind of want to normalize her a bit. And so they talk about sending her to a camp, but by some forms of events, this girl ends up getting teleported to this place called the Boiling Isles, where she meets Ida the Owl Lady, who's a witch. And basically the entire series is this. What?
I keep forgetting to press the chicken button. This is definitely a chicken. Right, and I don't have a problem with that. I've been remiss. We've gone down. We've chased several chickens, and I haven't hit the chicken button because it's been a month. So go ahead.
And essentially, the series is about this girl, Luz Noceda, learning from Ida the Owl Lady on how to be a witch. And of course, there's all these comical hijinks, juvenile hijinks here and there, but there's also a deep storyline of conformity, segregation, suppression, cult ideology. It brings all these kinds of cool, heavy kind of topics in a very relatable way.
Right. Yeah.
And I just think it's very cool.
Yeah. Cool. Oh,
and so me and Nikki have just kind of gotten obsessed with the show, and we've been binging it nonstop.
Yeah.
Even though there's only 1.5 seasons up on Disney Plus right now, we've binged through all of it like 3 times already.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking
it's a good show.
Maybe I would be Loki's personal assistant.
Would Loki before he went to the TVA?
I would be Professor X's personal assistant, but the James McAvoy Professor X.
Not Patrick Stewart. Why not?
No, just because I like the mix of characters and cast with the younger, the X-Men First Class when they did the reboot with the younger people. I love James McAvoy and just kind of hang out with James McAvoy's Professor X, and it's also I just like those characters, and I've always kind of gravitated more towards X-Men than any of the other superheroes.
You grew up with X-Men.
Well, but I really wasn't a superhero guy because I wasn't a comic guy, right? And it's kind of a chasing chicken, but so. And that's something that I've talked about all the time. That since I've gotten to know Mitch and Brandon, from my Xbox world, and they're the co-hosts of Divided by Werewolves, the podcast, they're huge comic people. I mean, Mitch even used to work in a comic store for a long time, and so they know the comics, they know the storylines, they know the artists, they know the writers, they know all of it, right? And it's like, and the crowd that I ran with as a kid, we didn't read comics. And so by the time I got interested in that kind of stuff, I didn't really know where to get started, right? Yeah, as a kid, you just pick up a comic to start reading. And then you start filling in gaps before and after. Like, I need to get issue this or whatever. As an adult, it's like, I want to start at the beginning, right? And when we started getting into Deadpool a few years ago, I asked Mitch one time.
Beginning of this arc or this arc?
Right.
Of this
and I asked him, I said, hey, I want to start reading Deadpool stuff. I said, where do I start? He said, well, which one is issue 1? And he says, well, which storyline? Or which universe? And I'm like, just issue 1. He said, well, there's a bunch of issue 1s depending on what storyline you're doing. I'm like, I just want to start at the beginning. Well, it depends on what storyline, where Deadpool actually starts. I'm like, okay, that's too confusing. There's the multiple. It's like, okay, multiverse stuff, and I'm like, no. Which reminds me.
Think about it. That's multiverse and time travel is the ultimate cop out for any type of superhero thing.
I know.
The CW DCCU has done that countless times. Time travel and multiverse.
Right. But here's a comic that I'm going to start from issue 1. Okay? You ready? Dennis from Botched, who's going to join us for one of our next 2 episodes. He for like the last decade, he's had a dream to do a comic.
Yeah.
And so he's got a Kickstarter that's going live on September 3rd during DragonCon, and it's going to go for about a month. And awesome. He's got a comic called Lycan, Solomon's Odyssey, and it's a comic about the first werewolf in history. And how it happens and how it got started and the mythology, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I got to read that.
So I'm going to support his Kickstarter as soon as it goes live and get an issue and probably get him to sign it. Of course, it will be after DragonCon, but he and I are actually doing one of the panels that I'm doing. He and I are going to be on the same panel together, so that's kind of cool. So anyway,
I'm game lucky. You're people lucky.
So if you want to, well, yeah, I mean, I got to have a nice conversation with 7 of 9, because she liked my Inigo Montoya. Actually called me to her table because she liked my cosplay.
I know.
Yeah, had a nice conversation about gardening and kids and stuff. It was cool. Didn't even mention 7 of 9 or Star Trek at all, and so I think that she appreciated that. So September 3rd, so that's one of the reasons why he's coming on, so we can talk about it. So it's going live September 3rd. So if you got some money to try to support that, you can do that. Now, if you want to go and try to support it ahead of time, you can go to patreon.com/HiveheadStudios, which is the name of what his comic studio is going to be. And support it. But I'm gonna wait until the Kickstarter kicks in and go that way and see what kind of rewards I get through the Kickstarter. So I'm super excited about that. So that will be where I will start with comics, because I can start with what I know is issue 1. So, nice. So anyway, okay. So we have rambled on enough. How about we talk about the movie? You want to talk about the movie?
I mean, we have to, but I don't want to. It's one of those things.
I didn't mind this movie that bad.
I mean, I didn't either. I just don't really have much to say about it because it was highly, highly predictable.
Well, true, but so anyway, but we still need to talk about it because that's kind of what we're here for. So
that's our shtick.
Let's jump into the next installment of
Roll for Credits. And I'm gonna give me some water real quick while this is going. Okay,
you can do that, and I'll
be right back.
Okay. All right, so we are talking about the 2017 movie, The Osiris Child, a sci-fi movie. It's it's on Hulu. You can stream it for free on Hulu. And it's written by a couple of guys named Shane Abbas and Brian Katia. It's directed by Shane Abbas or Abbas. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I don't know who those guys are. It stars Daniel McPherson. He plays the role of Kane, and he has not been anything that I've heard of. Don't know. A guy named Kellen Lutz plays Psy, who I guess was in the Twilight series and was also in a movie called Immortals with the woman who plays Gypsy, Isabel Lucas. She was also in Immortals as well. There's a guy named Luke Ford who played a character named Bill. I have no idea what he's been in. I didn't recognize any of these actors. But then there was the little girl in the movie. Is Tegan? What's her last name? Tegan Croft, and this was her debut. This was the first movie she'd ever been in. And I thought she was one of the better actors in the movie.
Yeah, she was.
But
especially in that ending scene.
Yeah. The one actor that I recognized immediately. Do you know who it was?
Psy.
No.
Really?
The prison warden.
Oh yeah.
Who was the prison warden? Prison warden.
He was the guy. He was the guy from Doctor Strange, right?
He's Jango Fett from Star Wars.
Oh.
He's Boba Fett's dad.
How did I not realize that?
He's also, he and like the animated Star Wars movies, all the clones, that's him.
Or him?
That's him.
That dude just lives in stuff.
So he was the only one that I recognized. So the plot of the movie is it's set in a time of interplanetary colonization. Cy Lombrock, who was played by Kellen Lutz, he's a former nurse who is now a drifter with a haunted past, forms an unlikely alliance with Kane Somerville, who is Daniel McPherson, a lieutenant who works for off-world military contractor Exor. In a race against time, they set out to rescue Kane's young daughter, Indy, who's played by Tegan Croft, amid an impending global crisis precipitated by Exor. So it's a sci-fi action flick, is what it is. Okay, they're trying to save this guy's kid. So that's
monsters.
That's the plot. So here's the thing. So it's set in the future. We have started colonizing planets. But the way we've gotten the manpower to colonize planets is we put a prison colony on the planet, and they're the forced labor. And so that's how they're able to colonize quickly, because they have forced labor through the prisons. And so you have this company called Exor that kind of manages all that, and they're kind of a pseudo-military organization, and they have a flotilla. They call it a flotilla. It's basically a station that floats in the air. And
every time I hear flotilla, I think of Talia.
The same thing. I thought the same thing. Also, there's another reference to Mass Effect in this movie too, but I'll get to that later. And so they all live up in that flotilla thing, and then the people live on the planet in the colony, including the prison. This guy, Kane's daughter, Indy, comes to live with him on the planet with a caretaker. He's divorced from mom. He's a former military guy. He's basically got PTSD, so he kind of ran away from Earth and everything. So his daughter comes to visit him on this planet. So she's on the planet while he's living in the flotilla because it's a military place. And then stuff starts to happen. Some kind of creatures overrun the prison. And the prison gets busted open. Prisoners are getting free. Some kind of monster things are getting free and killing everything.
The Ragged.
The head honcho of the Exor place decides that, because what people don't know is that those creatures are their creation. Prisoners. They created these creatures. They basically are using prisoners. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, Hammer. How are you, man?
Hey, Hammer, what's up, man?
So
you missed a whole lot.
They use the prisoners and turn them into these creatures. And the reason why they're turning them into these creatures is because they'll kill anything and everything. And they're designing these creatures when they colonize other planets to basically set these things free on the planet and kill all the hostile animals on the planet, right? So,
yes, you do, Hammer.
So anyway,
timing.
Dude, it's Hawaii time.
I know.
I mean, it's Hawaii life. It's island life. It's like,
what? Man. What time is it over in Hawaii right now? Then
I'd ask Hammer. It's several hours earlier than this. So,
hey, Hammer, what time is it for you? I'm very curious now. Just like I'm curious about my guys in Australia. Mm-hmm. It's 3 p.m. Okay,
there you go.
That makes sense.
So these monsters are actually prisoners that they've created out of they've turned them into these monsters, and they're planning on using them to take them to other planets to colonize them and kill all the hostile
racer.
Yeah, to kind of kill all the hostile animals on whatever planets they just had to colonize. Well, they got loose, and now crap's hitting the fan, and so the head honcho of the Exor Corporation up in the flotilla says, "All right, we can't let anybody know what we've been doing, so we're going to nuke the colony and destroy everybody." And Kane finds out and goes, my daughter's down there. And so he kind of revolts from the company, takes off in a spaceship to go to the planet to try to save his daughter. He ends up hooking up with Cy after he crash lands. Cy's actually a prisoner who broke out of the prison. And then the rest of the movie,
after the crap at the fan,
right? And then the rest of the movie is them trying to find their way to the city to save Kane's daughter Indy. And so that's
this weird chapter based system.
And here's what, if you notice the full name of the movie is like the Osiris Child episode 1 of the such and such Chronicles or something like that. So they've set it up. They set it up like, and in the trivia that I read about this movie, they had set it up and designed it from the get-go to be a multi-part movie series.
It just didn't catch up like that.
I don't think they made enough for the production company to want to spend any more money on it. But so that was the plan. So that's why they probably did it like that chapter format. So that's basically the premise of the movie. They meet some weird people along the way to help them. They meet some weird guys to get guns. They meet some weird people to get a van, to get transportation, to get to the city. They end up fighting bad guys and fighting the monsters and all that stuff. So that's the premise of the movie.
I still can't get over that guy just constantly calling them turtles.
Yeah,
I mean that was his thing. He called the monsters freaking turtles.
Well, he's not completely wrong. He's not completely wrong. I mean, look at the monsters, man. They kind of okay. If you want to get into that, that's one of the things that I said was I didn't like the monster models, the character models for the monsters, because to me, so where's my notes? Okay, here's what those monsters, the ragged, look like to me. They look like a cross between a Krogan, a turtle, and Poop Pile Chet from Weird Science. When she
actually,
turns,
they reminded me a bit more of oh man, and what's the name of the creature or that Jabba drops Luke into fight?
The Rancor.
The Rancor.
Yeah. So
for some reason I was just getting more Rancor vibes.
He's got they got the hook neck kind of like a Krogan. But the head looks like a turtle, and then the skin and everything, it looks like Chet after she turned him into a pile of poop on Weird Science. That's what they look like. So if you took those 3 things and they all had a baby, that's what these ragged are. So I didn't really like those. So you had mentioned early on that it was a pretty predictable movie, and it was absolutely a predictable movie. I mean, you saw everything that was coming. There was a twist at the end that I thought was kind of unrealistic that I didn't like, that I'll get to, but the whole side monster twist. Yeah, but I mean, I kind of expected that to happen, but something about that just seemed unrealistic. So they go and they get transportation with this weird couple, man and woman couple. And then they get guns from these guys, and then they're traveling to get to the city. They do find his daughter, and they're trying to get away. Well, Exor is trying to stop them because they're trying to kill all the humans on the planet to cover up what they did. And, of course, their little ragtag band of people that are trying to do all this stuff, they start dying off one by one, right? And it ends up at the end with the little girl and Sai, who was the prisoner, right? Because dad doesn't do so well, and so it ends up being the 2 of them. And then they end up making it to a bunker, and they're living there for a year. He's turned into one of those monster things, and so forth. So it's a pretty predictable sci-fi kind of action movie. I thought there were some really good things about the movie, though. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you think about the movie before I talk about mine, though, because that's usually the way we start. So what are your thoughts about the movie?
I honestly don't really have any good or negative thoughts on this movie. It's a movie.
You have no thoughts at all, huh?
I wouldn't watch it again, but I didn't regret watching it.
I would agree. I would completely agree with that, because your mom was watching a little bit of it last night when I was rewatching it, and I told her.
Nikki was watching a bit of it with me today when I got home.
Yeah, I mean, and I told her the exact same thing. I'm like, there have been some movies, because we just roll dice to pick a movie at random, and there's been some movies that I never would have watched, I never would have picked to watch, but I'm so glad that I've watched it and will watch again. This was one of those where I didn't mind watching it because it's what we do for the podcast, but it's not a movie I would have ever eventually picked or will watch again. If they decided to make it a trilogy of movies, then I would watch the other movies to see what happens. But now,
for some reason, we've gotten really good luck with Korean and foreign films.
We have. We really have. So I will say that even though this movie wasn't great, I mean, here was my thing about the movie. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie. We've seen some bad movies. It wasn't a bad movie. But there was nothing about the movie that was just especially great that made me go, oh, this was really good, right? Yeah. It was just kind of there. It was okay. I will say that it definitely had a big budget movie feel to it. It really did. Like it. Because the cinematography, the scenery and the cinematography was, and the camera angles and the camera work was really good.
And honestly, the detail they put into the physical ragged costumes,
Yeah, I mean those are okay. I mean, like I said, I wasn't a fan of the character models for the monsters, but they were all pretty detailed. So I thought the cinematography was really good. I thought the visual effects were really good. They didn't look fake. We've seen some movies where it's very clear that the visual effects are completely fake, right? The dinosaur survivor movie that we watched, whatever that was.
Yeah.
So I really like the design of their ships in this movie. The fighter ships with the wings.
The ships look really cool.
I thought the design of the ships was really unique.
They almost remind me of the Quinjets in Marvel.
Yeah, a little bit, except for the wings would like pop up, and they would kind of break and change. And I like the fact that it was like they were driving a zero-turn mower. When you saw them in there flying, they had the two sticks, and they're kind of like they're steering like a zero-turn mower, like they're cutting the front yard or something. So the design of the ships was really cool.
I don't know what that is.
It's like those mowers that you can kind of like you drive with a stick and you like this and it turns in a circle.
I've never seen those.
Okay. Anyway, so
I mean, you've only ever have us use a push mower.
I guess because we need to exercise. I thought
that's true.
I liked the soundtrack. I thought the music was really good, except
the soundtrack was good,
except for one part. The opening song at the beginning of the movie completely did not fit this movie at all. I was
kind of like that recent Star Trek series. He's with the captain that has the beagle.
Enterprise. Yeah, with the '80s like rock ballad for a
long road.
Faith of the Heart crap for Star Trek. Come on, people. Who thought that was a good idea? That is a worthwhile chicken, because I will die on that hill that is the worst theme song of any TV show ever, because it doesn't fit. How do you have a rock ballad, for a Star Trek of all things, Star Trek? You're gonna have a rock ballad, like an '80s hair band rock ballad. Come on, really? Might as well have had Poison up there, saying, talk dirty to me. I mean, what the heck? So anyway, no, the first song, go back and watch the opening of the movie. Now that you've seen the movie, go back and watch the very beginning and that opening song. And tell me and close your eyes. Don't look at the screen, just listen to me. Tell me it's not the opening music for like a James Bond spy thriller. I'm telling you.
No, you're right. You're right.
The music, the opening song does not fit this movie at all. When it first started, I'm like, wait, what? Is this James Bond? Where's the Bond girls and the bikinis and the beach and stuff? The tuxedos
and the martinis
going to play Baccarat in Monte Carlo, right? So that was
stuff getting
weird.
Shaken and not stirred.
That was really weird. So I didn't like that. But like I said, there was nothing about the movie that I thought that I just didn't like. We've had some movies that I just did not like the movie at all. It was a slog to get through.
I didn't really have an opinion, positive or negative. You know?
I didn't mind, and look, I didn't mind. It wasn't a slog to watch it a second time, because I've gotten to where I like to watch the movie at least twice. Mm-hmm. Once to just kind of get through the movie, get a feel for it, and then I'll watch it again to try to take notes or whatever. I didn't mind watching it a second time.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, it's not. There was nothing special about this movie.
Yeah,
I got it's like eating grocery store bought vanilla ice cream. It's ice cream, so it's good, but it's just Piggly Wiggly vanilla ice cream. It's just there's nothing.
Hey, Piggly brand ice cream is pretty dang good.
It's just the first grocery store that popped in my head. Okay, Walmart brand, great value vanilla ice cream, whatever. It's vanilla ice cream.
That I'll agree with.
It's vanilla ice cream. It's good because it's ice cream. Because I'll eat any kind of ice cream, but it's just vanilla.
There's something I've noticed up here.
What's that?
Meyer. There's something I've noticed living up here in Ohio.
Yeah, what's that?
Meyer brand food tastes better than Walmart brand food.
I'm sure.
I don't know why, it just does.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything
regional
else.
Chicken.
I did kind of like. Okay, here's something else. And your mom was watching this part with me last night, and I pointed out to her, and she's like, "That's horrible. That's torture." Do you remember in the prison, when they were put in solitary confinement?
I agree, Hammer Dwarf. It does taste like sadness. It tastes like you've given up on life.
It's like, you know what? It's like Walmart food and Snowpiercer protein blocks. And if you've seen Snowpiercer, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
It's contaminated by the tears of its employees.
Have you seen Snowpiercer?
Is that the thing with Chris Evans?
Yeah, the train in the snow.
Nope, haven't seen it.
You need to watch it. So I just related Walmart food to the protein bars that they eat on the train. Go watch the movie and see what the protein bars are, and then you'll get it. Nice, Hammer.
Soylent Green, nice.
So, but do you remember in the and this, I can see how this would be torture. Do you remember in the prison when they were put in solitary confinement?
They were in those constantly turning, flashing tubes.
They put them in these tubes that are like octagon tubes that never stop rotating. And yes, they have the flashing lights, so you have the sensory overload. But can you imagine being in solitary confinement for, say, 30 days in a chamber that never stops moving? Can you imagine the psychological torture that would be?
I mean, there were some people who kind of found a way to beat it.
It's kind of wedge up against the door, right? But yeah. You couldn't hold that for 30 days. You're going to roll around at some point, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was ingenious. If you want to quickly portray how torturous that prison was, that was a great way to do it, by showing that as the solitary confinement. So
that is kind of messed up.
I'm just hitting the button because our timer went down. So, and we're almost done anyway. I just like doing that because I like that sound. So,
why do you like that sound?
I don't know. I'm weird.
You're weirder than me sometimes, Dad, and that is saying something.
Well, you are the fruit of my loins, so there you go.
Okay, can you please stop calling me that? It's just gross. Freaking gross.
Am I lying?
You're not lying, but it's not appropriate to say.
I mean, it's the truth. So, anyway,
and Game of Thrones for the
the floor is low to the edge. Wow. See, now I never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh God.
Now,
I've always been talking about.
Well, I've always been torn because one, I don't have HBO, So, I'm not going to pay for HBO just to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And two, even though that's the kind of stuff I like, the swords and the sorcery and the dragons and that kind of stuff, the stuff that the sex and the nudity and the rape and all those kind of, there's like, nope, I'm not going to watch that stuff. So as much as I would like to have watched the storyline, if they could have done Game of Thrones without all of that, I'd have been right there on the front row. But because of that, I'll probably never watch Game of Thrones. I'll just have to listen to it, what other people have to say about it. So, that I thought that was really an ingenious way to demonstrate torture of that prison.
Yeah.
But as far as the movie, look, if you got an hour and a half of your life and you just want to watch a sci-fi movie that's just kind of popcorn movie to watch, then go for it. I will say, who did Bill and Gypsy, the couple that they got the ride from on the bus thing, who did they remind you of?
I honestly don't know. They didn't remind me of anyone.
They reminded me of the two main characters from Chappie.
Yeah,
the South African rappers. Except these guys had a southern accent.
Chappie. That's a good movie. That was a good movie.
Do you remember? Do you remember listening to any of their music? I can't remember the name of that band. It's like a South African rap group, and it's just that guy and that girl, and it's like, she sings that song, "I'm so freaky and I think you're fine" or something like that.
I'm super freaky and I like you a lot.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Like
that's it right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Super weird people. But anyway, so that's it. Of course,
the movie was good. That movie was good, though. That was one of our
She's got pretty much the same hair. Gypsy has pretty much the same haircut as that girl did in Chappie. But when I saw that, I'm like, it's their southern cousins. It's their southern inbreeding cousins. Of course, technically they weren't inbreeding because they were step siblings.
They're Alabaman cousins.
They were step siblings, so technically they weren't blood related. But it's still, that's my stepsister, and I'm making out with her. Ooh, no.
Oh my God, you have no idea what you just, Dad. You have no idea what you just referenced, and oh no, you have no idea.
I don't want to know what I referenced. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. But if there are people out there who will know the whole thing with step siblings, they'll know.
So anyway, so that's the Osiris Child. It's a I will say it's a well done movie. I thought the acting was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't fantastic. I thought the girl, I think she was 13 at the time when she did this movie.
It wasn't Gora level fantastic.
No, and she's done. And I haven't watched. I think it's on HBO Max. The Titans show, like I think it may be based off the Teen Titans stuff, that stuff, the DC Titans or whatever. Yeah. She's a regular in that show on HBO Max now.
As what?
Huh? As Rachel somebody I don't know. It didn't give me a character name. Just her character's name, not her superhero name or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, so she's in there, but I thought she did really good. But it's a well done movie. The graphics were really, visual effects were done really well. The cinematography was good. Storyline was interesting. It didn't do anything for me. I mean, the movie that we watched, God, what was the movie we watched about like the black hole? Not the black hole, but like what was that movie called? Not Collateral. What? With the dinner party. The dinner party and like Schrodinger's cat thing. It was just like two, three episodes back. Anyway, they spent $50,000 to do the entire movie, and it was fantastic. Loved that movie, right? So you can do a lot with a little. I mean, look at this podcast, right? So the movie looked good. It sounded good, but there just wasn't enough there to really just grab me. So if they decide to make a second or third movie to finish out the trilogy, I'll watch them just to see how the story ends. because they kind of left us on a cliffhanger a little bit. I thought with Indy and Psy.
We're going home.
We're going home, and that was kind of the end of it.
Domesticated monster Psy.
Yeah. And that's the unrealistic part that I wanted to talk about, because these things were designed to basically be killing machines and to kill anything in their way, right?
To kill and turn.
But then Psy turns into one of them and basically becomes Indy's pet, her protector, her guardian, and her pet. And I'm like, really? Come on.
That they speak through and they speak through sign language.
Yeah, but it wasn't official sign language. You could tell it was like it was supposed to be like a language that they made up together so they could communicate with each other. It wasn't like official sign language. But I thought that was really unrealistic that they did that. That it's like, okay, these things are genetically designed to be killing machines, but all of a sudden this one is going to be her friend and be her protector for over a year in that bunker. So I thought that to me that didn't fit, you know. So anyway,
I wholeheartedly agree.
So if you want to watch it, watch it. It's not a waste of time. It's just not going to be your most rewarding experience. It's like eating Walmart ice cream. There you go.
Or Soylent Greens.
That should be the name of this episode, Walmart ice cream. So
I like it.
Anyway, okay, I'm going to roll for our next movie, and then we're going to get out of here. Okay?
Who's got the new gemstone dice?
Okay, all right, go roll.
Yeah. You let me roll.
Okay, and I'll find the movie.
All right. First, let's see where we're going. Going. 2.
Okay, so that would be Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then a D10 for the genre, correct?
Yes.
All right, let's see what we got. 1, rolling really high today.
So that would be action adventure.
All right, action adventure, and then we're doing a D100 for the actual movie.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. Come on, baby. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Here, Dad, blow.
No, don't ask your dad to blow, please.
No, okay.
Just
exhale on the dice.
There you go. Done. Go.
There we go. Okay, let's see what we got. 77.
77. Okay, 77. So I'm going to go find the 77th movie in the action adventure category on Amazon, and that's what we're watching next. So y'all hang tight. Let me pull up Amazon so I can find it and scroll through those, and I will be right back.
Thank you, Hammer. You're awesome. Never forget that. You are a bright, beaming light of awesomeness.
All right. So it looks like we're going to watch the 2017 movie starring Daniel Radcliffe, a.k.a. Harry Potter, called Jungle. Jungle. And the little blurb for Jungle is: a group of friends join a guide for a trek into the Bolivian jungle, searching for an Indian village. The men soon realize that the jungle is a difficult place to be. Well, that couldn't be more generic and non-descriptive and doesn't explain anything. But it's an action-adventure movie in a jungle with Harry Potter.
He's not just Harry Potter.
I want to watch that whole movie expecting at some point for him to go, Expelliarmus, or whatever it is he says, and wave some kind of wand.
At least you got the spell right.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So. To say it completely right, you have to say it with slight accent. Expelliarmus.
So it stars Daniel Radcliffe, and then also stars this other guy named Thomas Kretschmann. And he was apparently in King Kong.
See you, Hammer. Good luck on your sync engineering.
See you, buddy.
Malfunction.
Have a great weekend, you too, buddy. We'll appreciate you stopping by and just listening and hanging out with us. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later. So Thomas Kretschmann was in King Kong in 2005. He was in Blade 2 in 2002. Hey,
Dad, what's Blade?
Blade. Okay. Now, I have to turn in my nerd cred here a little bit because I've never seen them. But Blade is a Marvel comic. He's a vampire killer. Blade, played by Wesley Snipes. Blade 2.
Who's Wesley Snipes?
Oh my goodness. You remember?
Wait. Is that the same guy that played the bad guy in Demolition Man?
Yes.
Okay, now I know who that is.
And there are rumors that they're going to remake. They're going to do a reboot of Blade with hold on,
Michael B. Jordan.
No, yeah, you would think that, but no, hold on, let me think.
I mean, he looks the part.
Well,
Michael B. Jordan has got some good roles lately.
This other guy, I'm trying to think. Okay. No, I'm gonna pull up Luke Cage because he played one of the baddies in Luke Cage on. Here we go. Hold on, let me pull up. Actors. Oh. Come on, where you at, man? Where you at?
Where you at? Where you at?
I know he was in here.
Is that Cottonmouth?
Yes, Cottonmouth. Mahershala Ali. Yes, that's the guy.
I don't know how I remember
how
did
that guy, you guess that? That was very well played, buddy. And I think he would play this character very well. I think Michael B. Jordan.
Cottonmouth kind of scrawny though.
Wesley Snipes is not some big dude either. They're probably about the same size. But here's the thing. He looks big and I think Michael B. Jordan is just too good looking of a guy. He's too hunky of a guy to play Blade. I think Blade needs to be a little bit darker and grittier, and I think this guy would do a great job at playing that.
Okay.
So that would be kind of cool. So anyway, this Thomas long story short, this Thomas Kretschmann was in Blade 2, and some other things I think. But anyway, so that's what we're going to watch next time. We're going to go hang out in the Bolivian jungle with Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. Go figure. And Connor will come up with some other geek question, and we'll go from there. Oh, I mentioned it on a text to you earlier today, and I'm thinking about that game Expedition that you got for Christmas that one year. I kind of like it. They've got a deluxe edition now. That's got the main pack and 2 other packs. I'm thinking about buying it, and now you don't have to use the mobile app. You can use their web app on the web browser. So then we could play the sound effects from the app on the browser into our stream and get that music in there, and then maybe we could do some Expedition on one of our streams instead of a Geek Question or something.
That sounds pretty cool.
So I'll look into that. That'll be down the road. Okay. But anyway, so that's our show. Tonight, guys.
We can also do
what?
What do you mean?
Okay. That's fine if you have a bunch of folks hanging out in here with us and watching. Tell me how what do you mean? Tell me how what do you mean would be interesting on an audio only podcast.
We would make each other laugh.
But they can't see the pictures. Doofus. Come on. It's kind of a visual game. It's kind of a visual game.
We would describe the picture.
It's kind of a visual game. So, no. Anyway, guys, that's our show for tonight, guys. We're done. Thanks so much. Hammer, thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I know it's hard for us to get an audience built up on a Friday night, so I really appreciate you popping in. For you guys listening on the podcast, thanks for... Oh, there goes Chase again. Thanks for downloading and listening to the podcast. If you do listen to the podcast, it would really be great if you would go to wherever you download the podcast and give us a review, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Podchaser. We've got a presence on Podchaser. Go over there and give us a good review because that's kind of like an up-and-coming kind of repository for podcasts. So go over to Podchaser and check us out. Give us a good review. We'd really appreciate it to help people just know us a little bit better and get to, and we'd be a little bit more discoverable. I'm hoping we get a little bit of bump when I get to do some panels at DragonCon and I can get to talk about the podcast. We'll kind of go from there. But anyway, show us some love. We'd appreciate it. And we do this at Friday nights on Twitch.
Show us some love.
At 8 o'clock. Come join us, hang out. It's a whole lot more fun when we have folks to hang out with and debate with us about stuff. So that's all we got. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to go play some Xbox with my buddies. I have no idea what my kid's going to do, but it was fun seeing him again, and it was fun talking to him about nerdy stuff and talking to you guys about nerdy stuff too.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Okay, sorry. I started doing the white guy dance with my teeth clenched and snapping. So that's something wrong with that.
But we never actually get to do it all the time.
Wow. Okay, on that note, we're done for the night. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And always remember,
stay nerdy, my friends.
How did you know the words to that song? I don't even know the words to that song. And it was on the radio when I was growing up.
I didn't know the words. I just made up words for our situation.
When you sang it with such conviction, I thought they were just the words of the song. I don't know the words of the song.
Kind of like when I did this all about them cues, non-verbal. It's all about them cues, non-verbal.
All right. Y'all have a good night, guys. See y'all later.
Guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.